Hey YouTube, this is the Art of Prepping. Thanks for joining me. This is just another old school type of video. Getting lazy, so I just wanted to do something that was kind of more sporadic and didn't have to involve a video editing software or anything like that. So in this video, I'm just want to talk about protein. I have a lot of interest in nutrition, and I just want to talk about that besides meat and dairy and even like combining various grains and lentils and things like that to get a complete protein, to get all the amino acids to make that complete protein. There are other things that are complete, at least technically speaking. They may not have a lot of an amino acid in the actual the profile to make the complete protein, but technically they are a complete protein, and that would include things like baked potatoes, yellow peas, and things like that. And people typically don't know that. Now, you wouldn't want to just have that and that alone for your only source of protein. You want to mix it, but if you use those things like baked potatoes and yellow peas with other different types of vegetables, you have a really good chance of having a very strong, complete, protein profile that's going to be very adequate. And so, there's a lot of other misconceptions about people just think that the more protein you eat, the better. When that's not going to really be beneficial because the body can only absorb so much protein, for example, in a meal. The science that I've read recently clearly spells out that the typical human body, at least for a male, when they sit down to eat, can only absorb about 30 grams of protein in one setting. So if you have a massive plate full of 100 grams of protein, you're probably not going to be able to absorb, but if you're lucky, even a third of that. So it may be overkill. In fact, it is. So, when you get these big old protein shakes, like 50 grams in a shake, or these big protein bars, which I don't recommend because they're typically full of sugar and artificial ingredients. But, 50 grams, for example, is just completely overkill for pretty much everybody. Unless you're like a world-class bodybuilder, those individuals, they try to shoot for, at least a lot of them do, about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And that's a lot. I mean, a lot of protein. The average person is lucky to even do half of that, which would be a half a gram of protein per pound of body weight. And so, like someone like me, it's probably between 3/10 to 4/10, of a gram, per pound that I weigh. So, but let's just talk about this though. So basically, we, in kind of a wrap up here, we have 30 grams is a max. Okay, when you're eating a meal, typically of protein that you can absorb after a workout in that 10-minute window that you have when you break down your muscles. There's a 10-minute window that you want to go ahead and give yourself some good amino acids. Typically, people can't really absorb much more than around 20 grams of protein then. So there's no reason to have all those crazy big bars and drinks. And if you can only absorb 20 grams, you can only absorb 20 grams. And lastly, though, I just want to say for the average height and weight, male, for example, that's an adult, their needs, according to, various government organizations, Department of Disease Control or FDA, there's all kinds of different recommendations. Believe it or not, there's some conflicting information the more you look. But on the average consensus says that the average male of the average, once again, stature and all the numbers is going to be around 56 grams of protein that is recommended. Of course, everybody's a little bit different, and your activity level may be a little higher than another person. So that's just kind of for like an average person. And an average female, once again, of all the average height and weight and all that stuff, is 46 grams. So you can see it's pretty easy, in fact, really easy to get your protein needs according to the government. But there's also a lot of numbers saying that you want to go ahead and have a higher number than that just to help prevent disease. So that's what some people say. And so for me, I try to at least do, to be honest with you, about a half a gram, even if I don't fully absorb it all, at least it's there, but about a half a gram per pound of body weight. And so that's just what I shoot for. And so, so I shoot for like, because I weigh about 180 pounds. So, roughly 90 grams of protein, good quality protein. And I typically, do that between a mixture of different vegetables and eggs. And that's pretty much what I do. So I just wanted to pass this on because there's a lot of misinformation about protein that, some people think you need hundreds of grams a day, and, some sources are just so much better than others. And it is true that some foods have a lot more density in terms of certain amino acids than others. But believe it or not, though, there's a lot of foods that have, at least technically speaking, complete protein. It's just you probably would want to learn about maybe about some of the deficiencies of those amino acids in that food, and maybe do other types of foods to supplement that food that you like that may be technically complete, but it may be just technically, and there could be some low volumes of amino acids though in that food. So you can do combinations once again, and it's probably the best way anyways to eat is to eat a combination of different types of foods to get all your nutritional needs met. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, if I can answer the question, I'd be happy to answer them. You guys take care, and I'll catch you later.